Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of the Greek New Testament, and I'm just reading through the epistle to Titus, chapter 1, and I got up to verse 10. Esiga poloi, and in brackets kai, and hupotaktoi, mataiologoi kai phren apartai, malis tahoi ektes peritomes, huste epistomisdein, hoitines holes oikus, anatrepus sin didascontes, hame de aiscru cerdus carin, apentis exauton idios auton prophetes, Cretans iapsustai cacotheria gasterizagi. For there are many, and then we've got chi in brackets. Now we get this word and hupotaktoi, which we had something similar to it before. And again, it's alpha privative, and this hupo and the tact is from tasso. It means for those who are not subject, in other words, those who don't do as they're told, they're not obedient. Hupotasso is that word meaning to give orders to. So this is the adjective here from this. So for there are many that are perhaps insubordinate, might be a possible translation here. And then mataiologoi kai phren apartai. Well, Matthias is vain, so vain speakers, vain words, so perhaps vain talkers here. Now this word here is, this first word, by the way, is only here in the New Testament, and this one here is only here in all of Greek. It's what's known as a hapax legomenon. Only occurs here in all of Greek, but the meaning's clear. It's from phrein, the mind, and apate is the word for deceit. And so these are ones who deceive the mind. So just deceivers. Malista, especially those from the circumcision, that is, from the circumcision party. Common expression in the New Testament. Huste, whom it is necessary, epistomisdo, this is another word, it's only here in the Greek Bible, it's not in the Septuagint. It does occur in Plato and Demosthenes. It's from that stoma, a mouth. So it literally means to shut their mouths, to make them shut up, so to silence them. So those whom it is necessary to silence, a very strong word. Hoitines, who, anatrepusi, who overturn whole houses or perhaps households. Didascontes, teaching that which is not necessary for them. So in other words, teaching things which they ought not. This is just idiomatic here. You've got to supply tauta as an antecedent to the ha. So teaching those things which it is not necessary, understand, to teach. So teaching that which they ought not. And here we've got this use of karin again as this preposition taking a genitive. Kurdos is third declension neuter, so this is a genitive here, on account of selfish gain. Now this picks up this word we had up here, actually, the aiskrokerde, which had that sense of dishonest gain, and so it's the same thing here. So on account of shameful gain or dishonest gain. Apentis exauton idios auton prophetes. So a certain one from among them, their own prophet. So idios is one's own. So it's almost like their personal prophet. Said, and we get a quotation here. So perhaps it's one of their own who is a prophet said. And we get a quotation here from Epimenides. So when he says a prophet, he's really referring to here a philosopher. This is an hexameter from the poet-philosopher Epimenides. None of his stuff survives, but this line is quoted by Callimachus in his hymn to Zeus. And so we have this line brought to us from elsewhere. It's in Callimachus's poem, which is a late Hellenistic poem. And it's in hexameter, so it's in that rhythm. So it's Cretans I, pseustai, kakatheria, gastera, sargai. So it's in that hexameter rhythm, and it means Cretans are always liars. This is from Pseustes. Cretans are always liars, kakatheria, evil beasts, and the argai is alpha privative plus the erg, meaning not doing anything, and hence lazy or idle. Gasteres literally means stomachs, but I think it's poetry, we're meant to translate it as gluttons, I think. It's their stomachs that are idle, but of course then they're gluttons. So we have this this rather unpleasant verse about the poor old Cretans, and so he's warning Titus about Cretans in general, I think. He amarturia haute esti alethes, dihen aitian elenke autus apotomos, hina hugiainos si ente piste. Me prosecontes iu daikois muthois kaentalais anthropon apostrophomenon ten alethean. This witness is true, that is, what the Epimenides has said. On account of which reason, so for which reason, elenke, he refuted or perhaps reproved, it's that elenko verb again, he reproved them, that is the Cretans, apotomos, something like sharply or severely. The tom is connected with temnote, cut, it's almost cuttingly. So severely or sharply, in order that, again we get this verb hugiaino we had before, means to be healthy, but often translated to be sound, in order that they might be sound in the faith. Not pros econtes, not holding on to. Now whatever this means, consult the commentators here, it's literally Judaic myths or stories. So Jewish myths, and after the verb prosekon, so holding on to Jewish myths and holding on to the entolis, the commands of men, and then in opposition to anthropon, men who are overturning the truth. This is from strepho, to turn people away from the truth. Now this is in fact passive, isn't it, here? So men who have turned away from the truth, being turned away from the truth. I think this must be a passive participle here. So the commandments of men who are being turned away from the truth. It could be middle in the sense of turning other people away from the truth, but it may be just passive, who themselves have been turned away from the truth. Pantakathara tois katharois. For all things, there's no verb here, so you supply the verb to be. All things are pure to the pure, but tois menois. Now this is from meino. Meino is to defile. This is a perfect passive participle here. To the ones being defiled, so those who have been defiled and who are faithless, uden katharon, nothing is pure. Allah memiantai auton kai honus, kai he sunedes. But, now the subject of the verb here is hotnus, their mind, and their sun eidesis, their conscience of them. So both their mind and their conscience, memiantai, has been defiled. Again, this is a perfect from the same verb. Here we get the participle here. The nu in meinamai becomes a mu to make the sound work. So it gets nasalized to a labial nasal, a mu. And here it's just the normal dental nasal, so from meinamai. Theon homologusi eidenai tus de ergus nuntai. Bedeluktoi ontes kai apethes kai prospan ergon ergothon adokimoi. They confess, homologio. It's from that homos meaning the same and the logio to speak. So they speak the same and hence they confess. They all say that they to know, infinitive from oida here, to know God. But this is from aneamai, to deny. They deny, understand God by their works. Being bedeluktoi, well, we get bedelugma and so on. It's a classical word. It means something disgusting was the original sense of it, I think. And it gets translated as abominable or detestable. So being abominable or detestable, and apathes, disobedient, and adokimoi, well, it's often translated as unfit in regard to each good work. It can also, dokimos means tested, it means having passed the test. So rather than unfit for, as some translators do, I tend to take this word as meaning more in the sense of having failed the test in regard to each good work, for adokimoi. And that's the end of chapter 1 of Titus.